Bernie Ecclestone. Bernie. He's always wanting to keep himself in the limelight, keep himself occupied on his farm in Brazil by, when he does speak to the media, spouting some rather questionable views, to say the least, about Formula 1. So for those that don't know Bernie basically ran Formula 1 from the 1980s to the mid-2010s when Liberty Media took over. He was the head honcho, the Supremo. Nothing happened in Formula 1 if it did not go through Bernie Ecclestone. Now he's rather annoyingly putting out some questionable opinions still. This time it's regarding Sir Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari. Of course, we heard from him not too long ago how he was basically saying, yeah, I did the deal for Bortoleto to Sauber, that was all down to me. Yeah, questionable stuff to say the least. But let's have a look at what he said here. Before I judge him too much, let's give the man his let's give the man his dues. Let's go through this article, go through what he said here on the F1Chronicle.com, and yeah, I'll give my thoughts at the end of it. But I'm not expecting much when it comes to a coherent argument here, so let's have a look. Former F1 Supremo Bernie Ecclestone thinks Hamilton has lost his motivation. While some admire the 40-year-old's boldness in switching from Mercedes to Ferrari, others see it as more of a marketing and a money-orientated move for both Ferrari and the 7-time world champion. Ecclestone doesn't even think Hamilton will make it to the end of his contract. He won't last that long, said the 94-year-old. Piero Ferrari, who has taken him there, still thinks they've done the right thing. I hope they haven't just jumped in and end up wishing they hadn't. After his run of titles ended with defeat to Max Verstappen in 2021, Hamilton has struggled so far in the new ground effect era. Some believe it has its advancing age as the problem. It's not the age with drivers, Ecclestone insists, it's how long they have been doing the same thing. I have thought with Lewis, he is getting tired, he has lost motivation. If he had never won a world championship, it might be different because there would be an incentive to win one, but he has won 7. Ecclestone thinks Hamilton will struggle as Leclerc's new teammate as well. The team is happy with Charles Leclerc, he said. Leclerc speaks their language, so they will be looking after him. Even if Lewis does well, there will be still a lot of enemies because he has suddenly arrived. I don't know, I'm not so sure about that. Ecclestone said Hamilton is always at risk of polarising and alienating those around him. Speaking from experience there, Mr. Lewis gets himself up at the front where you can dislike him, he admitted. How a guy has won a few world titles and has a few dollars in the banks can dress the way he dresses, I'm not a fan of that. Irrelevant. He has a lot of talent as a driver, as much as people credit him with. No, but still enough to win races. I don't know why he does all this other nonsense. Utter woke nonsense from Lewis Hamilton. How dare he? He needs to get out of the music business and whatever else. Right, okay. So much to unpack here. So let's start with, I'm just going to go through this. I don't normally go back into the article and actually dissect it because honestly, this just needs to be picked apart because this is absolute rubbish, to put it relatively politely from Ecclestone here. I don't know why he does all this other nonsense. He needs to get out of the music business and whatever else. Right, this was never a problem when he was winning titles, right? When Lewis Hamilton was winning titles and he was going around, chilling out, traveling, doing his gala thing, doing his fashion thing, his music thing, right? This was never a problem before, but whenever he's not winning, it's a problem. That is so typical of a lot of different sports as well, for that matter, but Formula 1 is particularly bad for it because there's only 20 drivers. It's not like footballers where there's thousands of professional footballers around the world. You know, this is just terrible. Like, this has got nothing to do with it, right? Hamilton has proven that he can do his extracurricular stuff and still win. Max Verstappen does his extracurricular stuff and still win. He still, you know, does his sim racing, does whatever. A lot of the other Formula 1 drivers, like George Russell was at the... Where was he at the other day? I saw a picture of him at some sporting event. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't the Super Bowl. It was a different one. Anyway, point is, right, you can do other things outside of Formula 1 and still be successful. Hamilton's proven that, so that's irrelevant. Alienating people in the garage, people not liking him. I don't see it that way. I really don't see it that way at Ferrari. Ferrari just want to win. They want to win. And to do that, they need to help their drivers as much as possible, Leclerc and Hamilton. Why would they be actively against Hamilton just because he's the new guy? Were Ferrari actively against Carlos Sainz because he was the new guy in 2021? No. You can. That's just a baloney argument right there. I get it. They might like Charles Leclerc more because they've had a relationship with him since he was like a karter or whatever. He's always been a part of Ferrari. I get that. And Hamilton is a different dynamic. He's a new guy in the team, but he's super you know, super experienced and super successful in the sport. And while we're on this as well, where he's saying, oh, he's got 7 world titles, he's got no motivation. No, that's just not the case. He's clearly proven that he wants to get that world title. He was trying his absolute best to get that 8th world title in 2021. He did everything he could to beat Max Verstappen, and it didn't work out in the end, but he was so close. That final race, that final lap, it was there for him. It didn't happen in the end, but, you know, you can't question the guy's motivation. And to come back from, you know, long COVID and, you know, stuff like that, you know, the guy has done incredibly well, in my opinion. Yes, the last few years have not been as good, but I think the car just didn't suit him as well. I honestly think that. And I don't think overall Hamilton's done a bad job at Mercedes in the last couple of years. I don't. He's not been on the same level as what he was, of course. There's different factors to that. Bit of motivation may be coming in as well. But, you know, as Nico Rosberg has said, it's relighting the fire, you know. If he was any doubt about his kind of form and stuff after last season, I think going to Ferrari is a real career booster for him, you know. And Ecclestone. But the thing is, the whole goal with Ecclestone doing these interviews and stuff is for people to talk about him, which I know I'm doing right now, but when I need to call out rubbish when I see rubbish, and honestly, those quotes there are absolute baloney. They're absolute rubbish. But what do you guys think? Because I know there are some people out there that do think that Sir Lewis Hamilton is washed, he's a has-been, he's going to fail at Ferrari. I'd see them in my comments. They exist. These people are out there. But overall, if I had to, you know, gun to my head and I had to choose one or the other, is Hamilton going to be a success at Ferrari, i.e. challenge for world championship and win races? Yeah, I think he probably will. Will he win that 8th championship? Don't know. It's going to be an amazing battle between, you know, his own teammates, Max Verstappen, the McLarens, of course, you know. And so for me, it's going to be amazing to watch. But just Ecclestone, man, just honestly, just stick to farming in Brazil, man. Just stick to that. Don't go trying to put people down. That's all he's doing. It's just negativity. And we see it in people all the time. It's not just Ecclestone. We see it in a lot of people. Like the former teammate of Franco Colapinto, that Rusinov guy. If you've not seen that video, go check it out. Put it out last week, where he was basically saying Franco Colapinto's terrible, he can't drive, and he just crashes the car all the time. All the hype isn't deserved, which, again, it's just pure negativity and completely unfounded. So, but again, some people out there agree with these people. So, yeah, you know, it's supply and demand, and Ecclestone is absolutely spouting the biggest load of rubbish you've ever heard with that one. But those are my thoughts, guys. What are yours? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you soon for some more F1 news pieces and opinion videos just like this. Hopefully about quotes that are a bit more positive, but we'll see how that goes.